Welcome to this first session of Tips and Tricks working with PDM. My name is Henrik Jonsson, and with me I have my colleague Jens Andertoft. So this is me, Henrik Jonsson. I'm a CAD application engineer at PLM Group, and I started SolidWorks for the first time in my life in 2005. Before that, I was working for an Autodesk dealer with AutoCAD Inventor and so on. So I've been in the business since 1989, quite a while, working with SolidWorks, PDM, and since the background with AutoCAD, also draft site, of course. And I love to do Visual Basic macros. That is really fun. Another fun thing to do with your life is to go on the road bike. You can see me just after a road bike race in the picture. I'm just over 50. I have 3 grown-up kids and I live in beautiful Karlstad in Sweden.
Yeah, and that's me, Jens Andertoft. You could almost do a copy-paste from Henrik, except for the picture, of course. We're the same age. I live in Västerås, I might say also beautiful city in the middle part of Sweden. Been working with SolidWorks since 2000, so that's also a while. And I've got my SolidWorks Elite Application Engineer back in 2019. And for this webinar, I will not be seen that much. I will be in the background and try to answer your questions, which you are free to ask in the questions pane of the GoToWebinar interface. So feel free to write them down there. And please write in English. I see one of you have written in maybe Finnish or Estonian or some other language I can't understand. So please use English, and we will also have a Q&A session at the end where we will try to answer as many of your questions as possible. So back to the real webinar and to you, Henrik.
Thank you. And those questions we don't have time to answer during this webinar. We will try answer them and email you the answer afterwards. Or is there something that you miss? Just contact us on our support. So what are your expectations for today's webinar? You can see during this webinar the quick search functions in SolidWorks PDM. I will show you how you use them, and I will also show you how to set it up. So if you don't have this set up already, you will be able to do it afterwards. And if you need help doing this we can do as a consultancy. So we just ask how you will use it and we will set it up for you. Next up is to add a state for minor adjustment in your PDM workflow. I will get into what that concept stands for. And finally, how you can put your templates inside the PDM Vault and what you benefit from doing that. So what about the quick search? The quick search in PDM Vault is very easy to use, and it's a lot more quick than using the fantastic search forms that have been in the PDM system even since before it named Conisio once in a while. This has been available since the release of 2020. And to be able to start using it, you need to do a few steps to set this up to get going. And I will show you how you do that in the end of this first tip and trick. So what will be included in this show? I'll show you how to use the quick search, and in the left pane you see some shortcut keys. I'm really a fan of shortcut keys. So if you don't have used like Control F for search is the same for Notepad and Word and a lot of other Windows program. And this is the beauty of PDM system, because if you know how to use Explorer, you are able to use a lot of stuff in SolidWorks PDM already. And you can do some magic with the search. I will show you this now. So we go into the mountain scooter folder where we have this stuff, and we activate to search in all folders. And I also activate description and document numbers to be searched for. And the first search, I will search for a number part of the document number, and we can see that this gave me 3 hits in that search. And by pressing the cross mark, I can clear that search, and I can search for some words. So I want the documents named boogie or arm or named, but they will have this in some of these variables that I set up. So in description, we find documents with boogie or arm included in that one. Press escape and you will get out of this. It is the same as pressing that cross mark. We'll do another search, and this time I will activate the multi-field logic search. Start with a colon, press a part of a document number, exclamation mark to tell the system that wheel should not be part of this search. So documents with the correct document number but not containing the word wheel will show up. Pretty smart search, and it's really quick since it's searching in an SQL database. I'll go in the history of the search. You can see how that have been built up. I run a search once again, and when you're done with those search, you can, whenever you like, clear the history by clicking that. So how do we set this up? Now we know how to use it. So in the administration tool, I have my quick search list. I can select which user are going to use this. So in this case, the group contributors should use it or be able to use it. And let's set up another one. So if you don't have a quick search list at all, you just create your first one and you place a name for it, select who's going to use it. And this is engineers group. And let's just add those variables that you want to be able to search in. And I select document number. And in this case, I might want to reduce the name. I just call it doc and add 2 more, project name and project number. And as I do that, you see the add button is grayed out. Why? Because 5 is the maximum to have in one list. So to activate this in the PDM system, you need to click outside the PDM vault and click back in again. And now the system is updated and you can start using your new quick search list. And we see that we have these new variables, and to activate them, you just need to put a mark in front of them. So that's how you set this up in your system. And to do just the conclusion of it, fast, easy search of metadata placed inside of your documents. And as I said, this is done by the SQL database, so not searching in any files. So it's really, really quick. And you can have the maximum of 5 variables per list, but several lists can be activated at the same time. So this list can be kind of long, but I think 5 is enough for most of you. It's time for another poll. Are you ready, Jens?
I'm ready. Yeah, nice tips for the quick search. I really like it too. So we would like to see which industry do you represent? It's always nice to see where you come from and what do you do in your daily work. So please select from those 5 alternatives and see where we end up. I can see that you're awake, and we have almost 90% of you voted. So let's wait just a few more seconds, and I think incoming answers had stopped, and There we have the results, and maybe as expected, the industrial equipment sector is the most common one here. But also nice to see we have a couple of you from the home and lifestyle, for example, which maybe not that common in the SolidWorks world. So nice to have you all here. And on to the next tip.
Thank you, Jens. Next one will be the minor adjustment state that we add to our workflow in the PDM system. And with this one in the workflow, you are able to do small corrections without getting any new revisions. And first, I will show you how to use it. And next up, I will show you how to set it up. And we're going to point out that it's good to set the current revision in this state. So you might already have the minor adjustment, but might not have the stamp of revision when the document gets back to approved. And as always, when you're doing modifications in the workflow, be aware that you need to have recent backups, because this is all stored in a database, or making changes in the database go straight in. So how do we use this? Let's see how we implement the minor adjustment, and we can do changes to the documents, and it will store the changes in the file's history that can be shown through the Explorer PDM window. And let's see how this non-revision magic works. So we have a drawing. There are some dimensions missing. It's in local revision, in revision B. It's approved. I want to check it out to make my changes. I can't check it out when it's in approved state, so I go for a minor adjustment. And I don't want to change the models. I just want to make changes to the drawing, so I deselected the other ones. And now I'm able to check this out. I will go for dimensions and put these on the drawing. And then I check back the drawing. So my changes are secured in the vault. I will add a comment. It's always good with comments when clicking in the history of a file. And we change the state back to approved. And always use comments. And at this point, a new PDF file might be created. The revision gets stamped. You can see it up in this PDM add-in, and it's back to approved. So we get our changes stored without a new revision. So how do we create this in our own PDM system? To add it to the workflow, change to another drawing in another workflow, and I want to check it out, but it's gray, it's in revision A. I want this one to be in revision A. We don't have the minor adjustment, so we need to go in administration, open up our new workflow and add a state. Let's call it minor revision. Let's allow engineers to use this and be able to see the files and check them out. It's kind of vital that it will be checked out to make changes. There we go. And since this is a workflow that has been used for a lot of documents, I can't remove minor adjustment that I already have when I was testing this one up. So I will just pretend that this is the one I have created and give permissions to these groups, and also the admin user, of course. And I will use this revision tab. So it needs to have the revision set up, but with the transition, I can allow engineers to use the transition to move from approved to minor adjustment. I want the state to be stamped in this file, so the variable state will have the value of a destination state, so it will say minor adjustment when it remains in that state in the system. So just cleaning up a bit, and you can see how graphical this is. We add a way back to approved, so I call it this way, and the engineers should be allowed to have that as well. And we need actions, so we need to set the state property back to the new destination approved state. And this is a critical one. We need an action that actually stamps that document with the revision A in the case of the drawing we had. So increment revision and press OK, and then we will control what kind of revision will it get. So since it's empty, we need to just store this one, save the workflow, and now it's updated, so I can select the kind of revision scheme that I should use, and putting a 0, it will stamp it with the same revision as before. So just make this look a bit nicer. Okay, we save the workflow once again, and we're ready to use it. So let's move back to our drawing, and voila, as the Frenchman said, make minor adjustment to this one is now available. And we of course select what to change. I select everything except the drawing and change the state. And once it is in the minor adjustment, I can start add dimensions. And when I'm finished, I will, in this case, check out the drawing afterwards. And I can check it back in again. It will put those dimensions into the drawing, and just add a comment. That change is in the system, and we send it back to approved state. Use that comment again. Makes it easy to follow in the history in the system. And as you see, local revision is now A as it was before, and it is in approved state as it was before. So, and what should these minor adjustment include? That's up to you and your company to set. You might want to create a document to define all those situations when it's okay to use the minor adjustment. Perhaps you're a bigger company that wants some project leader or something to send the files to minor adjustment and inform an engineer to do his minor adjustments to it. So you can correct spelling errors, add dimensions, move stuff just to get the drawing look nicer, but still be in the same revision. And with a great automatic of tasks and actions in the workflow, SolidWorks PDM takes care of all the extra stuff that needs to be run, like new PDF, DVG, and so on. Next, Paul, Jens.
Yes, we have seen 2 great tips. There are, of course, one more to come. So this question will be for the 2 we have already seen. If you think those tips will improve your way of working in your everyday work in PDM, And let's hope for a lot of yeses here, of course. And, I think we're getting the results we expect and want to have here. There are still answers coming in, so we'll take a few more seconds. I think it stopped somewhere around there. And we're very glad to see that 2/3 of you will make use of those tips, and only a few of you that don't need them at all. So very happy to see that result. Then we have been lucky with this webinar so far, I think, but we have one more.
Yep. Last for today is how to put your templates inside the PDM Vault and what would be the purpose of doing that. Well, all users then get access to the latest templates, and I think this is a top solution for remote users. I think they don't have access with this mapped drives, like you go to a G or P drive and reach data from there. So, and you will also have revisions by putting your files and documents inside of the PDM Vault. You can restrict who can change what, and you can also be sure to have versions and see older stuff, even for a template. And you can also do this for design libraries, and maybe you want to have the toolbox inside of the Vault. So all these will have revisions, and you can set up automatic copying of local copies. I will show you what that is in just a while. So we will copy some templates to the Vault, and we will set up the automatic to update the local cache, because it's from the local cache you open your documents, even if it's in SOLIDWORKS or in Word. You don't have to bother about it. It's taken care of by the system. Let's see how this works. Go into the templates folder. This is just an ordinary folder with just files in it. Just happens to be template files. I copy some new templates that I want to have inside the Vault, paste them in, and once they are there, I will check them in and just move on with the checking in. And we can see that those are inside the Vault, and let's go into SOLIDWORKS and set this up. Here I have my old search path for templates going to my C drive outside the Vault. I will select the templates folder inside the Vault, and I don't have use of the other ones, so I remove the other ones. And I need to click OK here to go on to the next step to set up the default templates. So I will need to go back into system options again and hit default templates. I select the part template from the templates folder. You can see that it select this folder all default, so I don't have to bother about that search path again, and select what kind of drawing should be the default one. And these default templates are used when you open like DVG files or step files. So let's see how we deal with this in the Explorer window. We now have a lot of files, and just to show you this, I do clear local cache, and we can see that we have no local copies of these files. And I should now show you how to make this automatic copy to the local cache. So I log out from PDM and set up that these files should be automatically loaded to latest versions during login. So we have for the template folder, refresh cache during login activated now. And we need to store that in the administration, go back into the Vault. I log in, and you're not able to see it because it goes so quick when a few files, and it's all copied up to my local cache. So I will have the latest version of the files every time I log in to the vault. So this is a great way to solve that everybody have the latest version of all files. So to have the templates inside the vault, it's secure. You know who can change the templates. If you place them on a G drive, anyone that can use them in SOLIDWORKS can also change the files. And if you do any changes, you will get versions of them. You don't necessarily have to have revisions on the templates, but you will have, every time you check it in, you will have versions. It will make it very easy to find them. Today I have show you how super nice the quick search functions in release 2020 is, and you can use that one for reaching out to the templates or design library files as well. So that's all. And to sum this up, I have a short list of what you have seen today. And you have seen how quickly it is to search with quick search in the PDM vault. You just need to set up this quick search list in the first place. If you're not running the PDM 2020 or later, I can tell you that I was using 2022 today. So that's the latest one for the moment, and it's up in Service Pack 1. And I have also shown you how you can make tiny changes to approved documents without generating new revisions. So you can move them to this minor change state, make the change, and put them back to approved. And you can also have this PDF, DXF, GVG stuff recreated automatically by the tasks through the workflow. And you can be sure to set the current revision on files when they turn back to approved, so it will have this local revision stamp on the files. And by placing your templates inside the vault, you will know who have access to them, and everything that you need for your CAD daily work will be available through the vault. You don't have to know that, oh, those files are placed on that server and these ones are placed there. You have it in all one place, and you will be able to search for them. And as I said, top solution for remote users not sitting in the company, might be connecting through a VPN tunnel, something like that. You can get versions on the templates, so you can get back and see how was that before. And if you like, you can have the same concept for your design libraries and also the toolbox inside of your PDM system. Thanks for joining us today, and hope I see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Bye bye.